Thermodynamics. It is the branch of heat in physics which gives the relation between thermal energy. Thermal energy means heat energy supplied to the gas or heat energy lost by the system or gas. And because of heat energy lost or because of heat energy supplied to the system, some work is sometimes some work is done. Okay, I will say one example here. I will say one example. Suppose in a vessel, by means of a frictionless piston, suppose some gas is enclosed here. So gas is there inside it at certain temperature, pressure, and volume. Okay, suppose you fix the piston. Okay, then you supply some heat energy. That heat energy is called the thermal energy. So if you supply some heat energy to the system, suppose dq amount of heat energy is supplied to the system from the outside, then this heat energy or thermal energy is absorbed by the atoms or molecules in a gas. Due to that, the kinetic energy of the molecules or average kinetic energy of molecules increase. Whenever average kinetic energy of molecules increase, as we know, the average kinetic energy of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. Kelvin scale of temperature is the temperature increase. At the same time, as the average kinetic energy increase, the atoms or molecules move with more RMS velocities and they make more number of collisions with the walls of the container. The pressure exerted by the gas on the walls of the container is directly proportional to the number of collisions made also. When temperature increase, kinetic energy increase, so that the number of collisions made by atoms or molecules with the walls of the container will be more. That's why pressure will be more. So because of supply of heat energy here, the pressure increases. So in order to make here, whenever the pressure increases, then this pressure, the pressure of the gas, as pressure increases, the gas pushes the piston outwards. Suppose the piston displaces through certain distance here. Whenever the piston displaces certain distance here, some work is done by the pressure of the gas on the piston. Such work done is called external work done on the piston by the gas. That means when you supply some heat energy to the system, some work is also done. Then what is the relation between the amount of heat energy supplied and the work done, mechanical work done? The branch of heat in physics, which gives the relation between the amount of heat energy supplied, which is called thermal energy, and the mechanical work done, is called thermodynamics. Dynamics means that interacts, that tells us the force acts on the body and what is the amount of work done, etc. Okay, thermodynamics means it is the branch of heat in physics which gives the relation between thermal energy supplied and amount of external work done. That is called the thermodynamics. Okay, now in this thermodynamics, so first of all we have to discuss what is the system. So what is the system? First we have to study. So branch of physics or heat, which deals with the branch of physics which deals with thermal energy. Thermal energy means heat energy. And external mechanical work or external work. So the branch of physics which deals with the thermal energy and external work done, a relation among them, is called thermodynamics. Okay, now the system. So first we have to know what is the system. System means here the matter or substance which is having some boundaries. System means the matter or substance which is having some boundaries is called system. Suppose here the gas is enclosed in a cylindrical vessel by means of a piston. The gas is enclosed. Gas means matter or substance that is enclosed in a vessel by means of the piston. So here gas is there. The gas enclosed is having some boundaries like this. Within this boundaries only the gas is there. That's why it is called the system. So system is the substance or matter which is having boundaries is called the system. In system there are three different types. In system there are three different types. First one is a closed system. First one is closed system. Closed system. Closed system means a system which is enclosed in a vessel made of conducting material. Suppose here the system or gas enclosed in a vessel. This is the gas enclosed in a vessel by means of a piston here. Suppose the walls of this vessel or walls of this container is made of thermally conducting vessel. Thermally conducting vessel. Conducting material. Thermally conducting walls. Suppose when the gas is enclosed in a vessel which is made of thermally conducting, which is having thermally conducting walls, then there is an exchange of heat energy between the system and surroundings. Here the matter which is present around the system is called surroundings. Here you see the system means the matter or substance which are having boundaries is called the system. The substance around the system is called the surroundings. Here you see system is having surroundings, that means these walls, or the system is having surroundings means the matter present around the system means around this vessel there is some matter, air or something is there, that is called the surroundings, or these walls of the container is called the surroundings, or the substance present around the walls of the container is called surroundings. So these are the surroundings. These are the surroundings. Okay. Now the system which is enclosed in a thermally conducting vessel, or the system which is enclosed in a vessel whose walls are made of thermally conducting materials, then such type of system is called closed system. In case of closed system, there is here, as these are the thermally conducting walls, heat energy transformation takes place from surroundings to system and system to surroundings also. That means there is an exchange of heat energy between the system and surroundings. Such type of system is called the closed system. So in case of closed system, the system is enclosed in a thermally conducting vessel. Because of that, there is an exchange of heat energy or thermal energy between the system and the surroundings. So here there is an exchange of heat energy. There is an exchange of heat energy between system and surroundings. System and surroundings. That is called a closed system. So example, the gas enclosed in a conducting vessel. The gas enclosed in a vessel which is made of which is having thermally conducting walls. That is the best example for closed system. In case of closed system, there is only exchange of heat energy or thermal energy between the system and surroundings, but there is no exchange of matter. అంటే దీంట్లో నుంచి గ్యాస్ బయటకు వెళ్ళడం కానీ బయట నుంచి గ్యాస్ లోపలికి రావడం కానీ జరగదు. Such type of system is called a closed system. Okay, next isolated system. Isolated system. Same. In case of isolated system also, a system or gas is enclosed in a vessel whose walls are made of thermally non-conducting material. Because of that, there is no exchange of matter or there is no exchange of heat energy between the system and surroundings. Such type of system is called isolated system. So in isolated system, there is no exchange of matter and heat energy between system and surroundings. System and surroundings. Such type of system is called isolated system. So in order to create the isolated system, the system must be enclosed in a thermally non-conducting vessel. In case of thermally non-conducting vessel, heat energy cannot taken by the gas from the surroundings, or heat energy is not lost by the gas or system to the surroundings. Okay, that's why in this the vessel is made of thermally non-conducting material. Here the vessel is made of made of thermally non-conducting material. Thermally non-conducting material. So in case of closed system or isolated system, there is no exchange of matter, and in case of closed system, exchange of heat energy takes place, but in case of isolated system, no exchange of matter or no exchange of heat energy between the system and surroundings. That is called isolated system. Next, open system. Open system. Open system. Third one. Open system. The system in which there is an exchange of matter and heat energy takes place between the system and surroundings. Such type of system is called open system. So there is an exchange of matter and heat energy between system and surroundings. System and surroundings. Such type of system is called an open system. Suppose if you enclose the gas in a open vessel. Suppose the gas is enclosed in a open vessel, then the gas exchanges takes place between the system and surroundings and from surroundings to system. At the same time, heat energy also exchanges between the system and surroundings. That means that when the gas is enclosed in a open vessel, in such case, there is an exchange of matter between the system and surroundings. There is an exchange of heat energy between the system and surroundings also. Such type of system is called the open system. Okay, so the gas enclosed in a vessel which is open to atmosphere, or the gas enclosed in a open vessel. That is the best example for open system. Okay, in this way there are different types of systems are there. Okay, now before discussing the different concepts in thermodynamics, we have to know the some terms. What is the external work done? What is the internal work done? What is the internal energy? Of course, internal energy means the energy possessed by the gas because of its temperature or because of attraction forces among the atoms or molecules. That is called internal energy. So before going to discuss in detail, we need the terms. What is the external work done? What is the internal work done? What is the internal energy? We have to know. We should have awareness about these concepts. So first, let us discuss external work done. So next is heading external work done. Suppose here in a vessel, by means of a frictionless piston, some gas is enclosed here. By means of a frictionless piston, the gas is enclosed, which is at a pressure P and a temperature T, and the number of moles of the gas in the vessel is say N, and the initial volume is say V. Initial volume is say V. Suppose temperature is say T, pressure is initial pressure is P. Okay, temperature is say T. Suppose this pressure is greater than the external pressure. External pressure means as this vessel is open to atmosphere. Here this is the atmosphere is there. So atmosphere pressure acts on them. But inside the system, the pressure of the gas is there. Suppose the pressure of the gas is greater than the external pressure, which is equal to atmosphere pressure, then there is a net force acts on the piston outwards. Because of net force acts on the piston outwards, suppose the piston displaces through a small distance, say dx. To a small distance dx. Area of cross section of the piston is say A. At the instant whenever pressure P acts on the piston, then some force acts on the piston. That force pushes the piston outwards. Due to that, suppose the displacement of the piston is says dx. Then what is the work done by the piston? Work done by the system on the piston. Piston means that is the surroundings. So work is done by system on the surroundings. Due to that, the displacement of the piston takes place outwards. Due to that, the gas expands. So when the gas is expanded, then When the gas is expanded means when the pressure of the gas pushes the piston outwards, in that case, the volume of the gas increases. That's why we can say some gas expands. When gas expands, then we can say some work is done by the system on the surroundings. But whenever the piston is displacing here, as the volume increases, pressure decreases, no? That means pressure is not constant. If pressure is constant, then simply pressure into change in volume gives work done. But pressure is not constant. That's why for the small displacement of the piston, suppose the small increase in volume is say dV. For the small increase in volume, there is no considerable change in the pressure. That's why a small increase in volume of the gas due to displacement of the piston, the work done is equal to P into dV. Pressure into volume is equal to work done only, no? Is it correct or not? Pressure into volume is equal to work done. Is it correct or not? Pressure means force by area. Volume means area of cross section to displacement. Pressure is equal to force by area. Here work done, actually work done dW is equal to force into displacement. Displacement of the piston is dx. Force exerted by the system on the piston is equal to pressure P by area of cross section. Okay, this into displacement of the piston. Displacement of the piston means, you see, whenever the piston is displaced by a distance equal to dx, then change in volume is equal to dV. Change in volume is equal to A into dx, we can write now. Change in volume is equal to area of cross section of the piston into displacement of the piston. As the piston displaces from this position to this position, then the increase in volume of the gas is equal to area of cross section to displacement. That is dV. So from this, how we can write dx? How we can write dx? Dx is equal to dV. Dx is equal to dV by A. Sorry, here P into A. No? Force means pressure into area of cross section of the piston. Dx means we can write dV by area of cross section. A cancel. Then P into dV. P into dV is equal to work done only, no? So whenever because of this pressure, the gas expands, so that the small increase in volume is dV. As there is no considerable change in the pressure of the gas, then at constant pressure for the small increase in volume of the gas, the work done is equal to PdV. Okay. So what is the total work done in displacing the gas from volume V1 to V2? Suppose if the piston is displaced through greater distance, then the volume increases from V1 to V2. In that case, what is the total work done? Total work done is equal to integral P into D. Because when the displacement of the piston is more, the pressure is not constant. When pressure is not constant, a small change in volume of the gas due to expansion of the gas, if PdV is the small work done, then to increase the volume of the gas from V1 to V2, what is the total work done is V1, integral V1 to V2 PdV. This is the total work done by the gas or system on the piston. Piston means surroundings. So it is the work done by the system on the surroundings. The work done by the system on the surroundings is called an external work done. It is the case whenever gas expands. Whenever gas expands, as this delta dV is the increase in volume, then work done is equal to positive. Suppose when the gas is compressed, then volume decreases. So it is the decrease in volume. That's why you have to write minus sign. In such case, the work done, here, whenever the volume decreases, then we can say work is said to be done on the system by the surroundings. As the gas is compressed, when the piston pushes the gas inwards, due to that it is compressed. Hence, work is said to be done by the surroundings on the system, or work is done by the piston on the system. That is also called as the external work done. So when the gas is compressed, work done by the surroundings on the system is negative. When the gas is expanded, the work is done by the system on the surroundings. Such work done is positive. Okay, therefore, so work done in general, external work done. Work done by system on surroundings, or work done by surroundings on system. Work done by surroundings on system. W is equal to general formula is integral PdV. Between the limits we can write V1 to V2. Okay, but we know any gas obeys ideal gas equation. From ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to nRT. Almost all for the small displacement of the piston, there is a small increase in volume dV. For small increase in volume, almost all pressure is constant. That's why a small change in volume, P is constant for the small change in volume. That's why P into dV is equal to nR is constant. The corresponding change in the temperature is dT. For the small change in volume of the gas, the corresponding change in temperature is say dT. Okay, then ddV is equal to nR dt we can write. So from this equation we can write, therefore external work done is equal to W, that is equal to integral ddV we can write limits V1 to V2, or ddV can be written as nR dt also. nR dt. This here limits, as we are integrating with respect to temperature, we can write T1 to T2 also. When the gas expands, suppose the temperature of the system or gas changes from T1 to T2, then in such case, the formula for work done is this one. If you are given the change in volumes, then the formula for external work done is equal to this one. Okay. So when gas is expanded, in such case, the external work done is to be positive. When gas is expanded, that means whenever the piston is moved outwards, then the volume of the gas increase means expansion takes place. No, when gas is expanded, then work is said to be done. It's a very, very important point. Work is said to be done by system on surroundings, which is positive or negative. When the gas is expanded, it is the increase in volume. That's why dV is positive. That's why work done is positive. Okay, so which is positive. When gas is compressed, then work is said to be done. By surroundings on the system. Work means action work done only. Surroundings on system, which is negative. So this sign convention is very, very important. When gas is expanded, external work done is positive. When the gas is compressed, then work is said to be done by the surroundings on the system. Such work done is external work done is negative. So this is the external work done. Okay. Next, internal work done. Internal work done. When the gas is expanded, then the distance among the atoms or molecules increases. When the gas is expanded, the distance among the atoms or molecules of the gas increases. Okay. If attraction forces among the atoms or molecules are considerable, then when the gas is expanded, because of increase in distance among the atoms or molecules, against the attraction forces, as the molecules are moving away, some work is done on the molecules against the internal forces. Such work done is called internal work. When the gas is compressed, and the distance among the atoms or molecules decreases. Due to that, some work is said to be done by one molecule on the other molecule. Such work done is also called as the internal work. So internal work means the work done by one part of the system. When gas expands, some work is said to be done. And in the internal molecule here, some work is done against the intermolecular forces, which is called the internal work done. So here, when the gas is expanded or compressed, one part of the gas or one set of molecules does the work on the other molecules. That is called internal work done. So the work done by a part of gas, the work done by a part of gas on the other part, in the same gas, other part in the same gas, against intermolecular forces or interatomic forces, intermolecular forces or interatomic forces is called internal work. So the work done by one part of the system on the other part in the same system against the internal forces, intermolecular forces, then such type of work is called the internal work. Next, internal energy. That is represented with small u. The energy possessed by the gases, atoms, or molecules because by virtue of its kinetic energy or by virtue of its motion, that is called the internal kinetic energy. Energy possessed by the gases, atoms, or molecules because of their motion is called internal kinetic energy. The energy possessed by the gases, atoms, or molecules because of attraction forces among them, that is called internal potential energy. The sum of this internal kinetic energy and internal potential energy is the total internal energy of the system or gas. That's why internal energy means the energy possessed by the system due to molecular motion and molecular here. Energy possessed by the system due to molecular motion. Due to molecular motion, energy possessed is called internal kinetic energy. Due to molecular configuration, energy possessed is called internal. Molecular configuration means because of distance among the atoms or molecules due to attraction forces among them, some energy is possessed by the atoms or molecules. Such type of energy is called internal potential energy. So energy possessed by the gases, atoms, or molecules because of their configuration. Their configuration means because of the distance among them, based on the attraction forces, then some energy is there. That is called internal potential energy. So energy possessed by the gas because of its molecular motion and molecular configuration is called the internal energy of the system. Okay. So the energy possessed by the gas, energy possessed by the gas or system, energy possessed by the gas or system due to molecular motion and molecular configuration is called internal energy. Therefore, in case of real gases means the gases in which among the atoms or molecules attraction forces are there. Such type of gases are called real gases. The real gases obeys the gas laws at high temperature and low pressure. Okay, the gases in which among the atoms or molecules there are no attraction forces, such type of gas are called the ideal gases. Ideal gas obeys the gas laws at any temperature and pressure. So here, internal energy is the internal energy. U is equal to internal kinetic energy plus internal potential energy. The sum of the internal kinetic energy and internal potential energy is the total internal energy of the system. In case of real gases, because of molecular motion, they possess the internal kinetic energy, and because of molecular configuration means because of arrangement of the molecules, or because of formation of the molecules with the atoms due to internal forces among them, they possess internal potential energy. That's why it is the energy possessed by the real gas due to molecular configuration. The sum of these two is the internal energy of the real gas. Okay, in case of ideal gas, internal energy is equal to only internal kinetic energy only, because among the atoms or molecules of the ideal gas, they have no attraction forces. among the atoms or molecules. That's why there is no molecular configuration. That's why it does not possess any potential energy. But because of temperature, each and every atom or molecule in the ideal gas possesses the kinetic energy. That is called internal kinetic energy only. Already in kinetic theory of gases, we derived the internal kinetic energy as F by 2 nRT, where F means degrees of freedom, N number of moles, capital R universal gas constant, and capital T the Kelvin scale of temperature of the gas. Okay, this is the internal energy. Any kind of energy that is measured in joules in SI system. In CS system, 1 joule is equal to how many erg? 1 joule is equal to how many erg? 10 to the power of minus 7. 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power of minus 7 or 10 to the power of 7? 1 joule is equal to how many erg? Yeah, 10 to the power of 7. 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power of 7 erg. Okay, this is the internal energy. Okay, now first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Okay, before this, here in case of ideal gases, okay, internal energy is equal to F by 2 nRT. For the given gas, F is constant, N is constant, R is constant. No? Okay, we know, suppose here, okay, here, first I will discuss the first law of thermodynamics, then I will say the concept. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Suppose here some gas is enclosed near thermally non-conducting vessel. Sorry, thermally conducting vessel. Some gas is enclosed near thermally conducting vessel. Okay, now amount of heat energy supplied to the gas is dQ. Amount of heat energy supplied to the gas or amount of thermal energy given to the gas is equal to dQ. So in order to supply the heat energy to the system is gas. In order to supply the heat energy from the surroundings to the system, definitely the system must be enclosed in a thermally non-conducting vessel. No? That's why definitely this vessel is made of thermally conducting vessel, not conducting, thermally conducting vessel. Thermally conducting vessel. So whenever this amount of heat energy is supplied to the system, due to that, suppose if the piston is fixed, then the atoms or molecules in a gas absorbs that energy, heat energy. Due to that, the average kinetic energy of the atoms or molecules increases. Due to that, internal kinetic energy increases. As we know, internal kinetic energy is directly proportional to internal kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature, because for the given gas F by 2 nR is constant. So internal kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. No, we are discussing about the ideal gas only. That's why, as the internal kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature, then temperature increases. That's why. So whenever the heat energy is supplied to the system, the piston is fixed. Then this heat energy supplied to the system is utilized to increase the internal energy. Suppose the increase as the temperature increases, then internal energy increases. No, that's why the heat energy supplied to the system is utilized to increase the internal energy. At the same time, because of internal kinetic energy increases, the pressure of the gas increases. When pressure of the gas increases, suppose the gas pushes a piston outwards through certain distance, so that some external work is done by the system on the surroundings. Whenever the gas expands, the work done is positive only. No, work done by the system on the surroundings is positive only. No, so here when you supply dQ amount of heat energy to the system, then a part of it is utilized to increase the internal energy, and a part of heat energy supplied is utilized to do some work. According to law of conservation of energy, if there is no loss of energy, then heat energy supplied to the system is equal to change in internal energy plus amount of external work done. Amount of heat energy supplied to the system is equal to change in internal energy plus amount of work, external work done. The sum of these two is the amount of heat energy supplied or thermal energy supplied. It is called the first law of thermodynamics. The amount of heat energy supplied to the system is equal to sum of the increase in internal energy and external work done. Okay, that is called first law of thermodynamics. In order to use the first law of thermodynamics here, we have to follow some sign conventions. What are the sign conventions? We have to discuss, because the sign convention is very, very important. Here in chemistry and in physics, there is some sign convention, there is some difference, but finally answer is same. Finally, answer is same. So which sign convention you feel easy, you follow that method. That is enough. Okay. Here, heat energy supplied to the system from the surroundings. And heat energy supply చేస్తాం సిస్టమ్ కి, లేదా హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ఇస్ అబ్జార్బ్డ్ బై ద సిస్టమ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది సరౌండింగ్స్. రెండు ఒకటే కదండి. సిస్టమ్ కి హీట్ ఎనర్జీ సప్లై చేయటమైనా, సిస్టమ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ అబ్జార్బ్ చేసుకోవటం అయినా రెండు ఒకటే కదా. సో హీట్ అబ్జార్బ్డ్ ఈస్ పాజిటివ్. హీట్ అబ్జార్బ్డ్ ఆర్ హీట్ గివెన్ టు ద సిస్టమ్. హీట్ అబ్జార్బ్డ్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ప్లస్ dq. అంటే ఇక్కడ dq వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసేప్పుడు, సపోజ్ 10 joule of heat energy is absorbed by the system అన్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడ dq రాసేప్పుడు ప్లస్ 10 అని రాయాలి. ఓకే. heat rejected or lost by system is equal to minus dq రాయాలి. It is the sign convention to be followed. Okay. Change in internal energy is equal to final internal energy minus initial internal energy. Okay. తర్వాత increase in internal energy అంటే change in internal energy పాజిటివ్ తీసుకోవాలి. This is positive. Increase in when internal energy increases, and negative when internal energy decreases. Internal energy decrease అయిందంటే నెగిటివ్ వాల్యూ తీసుకోవాలి, ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిందంటే పాజిటివ్ వాల్యూ తీసుకోవాలి. ఓకే. ఎక్స్టర్నల్ వర్క్ డన్ is equal to plus dW when gas expands. Gas expand అయిపోయిందా చెప్పి ఆల్రెడీ మీకు. వర్క్ డన్ ఇస్ పాజిటివ్ అని. తర్వాత when gas is compressed, when work done is negative. Gas compressed, simply gas compressed. These are the sign conventions to be followed to use the first law of thermodynamics. It is the another form of law of conservation of energy. First law of thermodynamics is the another form of law of conservation of energy only, because the total heat energy supplied is utilized to increase the internal energy to do external work done. That's why it is the another form of law of conservation of energy, or it is the consequence of law of conservation of energy. So first law is the consequence of law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. Okay. So this is the first law of thermodynamics. Next. Here, in this case, what is the change in internal energy? How we can write it? You see, du is equal to f by, here whenever the, because of heat energy supplied, suppose the increase in temperature is dt, then internal energy changes. That's why here change in internal energy du can be written as f by 2 nr dt. We can write now f by 2 nr into dt. F by 2 nr into dt. Okay. Suppose at constant volume, listen carefully. At constant volume means even the heat energy supplied with the piston is fixed. Even the kinetic energy of the internal kinetic energy of the molecules or gases atoms increases. Even pressure increases as the piston is fixed. No external work is done. And no work is done, at that time the heat energy supplied is equal to increase in internal energy only. That means here the volume of the gas is constant. At constant volume, the amount of heat energy supplied to raise the temperature of the given gas by 1 degree is called molar specific constant volume. So 1 by n into, we can write dq by dt. But here at constant volume, the amount of heat energy supplied, you see, at constant volume means there is no expansion of the gas or compression of the gas. That's why no external work done. In that case, heat energy supplied is equal to change in internal energy only. That's why in this case we can write 1 by n into du by dt. Since at constant volume, heat energy supplied is equal to change in internal energy only. So okay, in this case, du is equal to, how we can write, molar specific constant volume is equal to 1 by n into du by dt. Therefore, du is equal to, we can write du is equal to Cv into NCV dt, no? NCV into dt. This is the formula for change in internal energy. Suppose here temperature increase in internal energy is this one. If the temperature decreases, you will get dt minus. In such case, du is the decrease in internal energy. That's why instead of internal energy, we can write NCV dt also there. We can write NCV dt or final internal energy minus initial internal energy. It is the change in internal energy. So it is very, very important formula. Change in internal energy is equal to NCV dt. You have to remember this formula. Okay. Next. Next, molar specific constant volume and molar specific constant pressure. What is the relation between these two? Relation between capital Cp and capital Cv. Molar specific constant pressure and molar specific constant volume. Okay, already we know molar specific constant pressure means at a constant pressure. Suppose some gas is enclosed in a thermally non-conducting vessel. Sorry, some gas is enclosed in a vessel. Okay. Suppose n moles of gas is enclosed. When n moles of gas is enclosed in a vessel, get a constant pressure. Actually, suppose if you supply some dq amount of heat energy to the system, then this heat energy is absorbed by the gases, atoms, or molecules. Due to that, the kinetic energy of each and every atom increases or every molecule increases, pressure increases. That's why here, whenever pressure increases, in order to maintain the pressure constant, the piston is to be displaced outwards. Due to that, the volume increases so that pressure decreases. That's why, in order to maintain the pressure constant, in order to keep the pressure constant, when you supply the heat energy, pressure increases. But in order to keep the pressure constant, some external work is to be done to expand the gas. That's why whenever you supply heat energy to the system or gas, due to that internal energy increases, some external work is also done. When you supply the heat energy to the system, in order to keep the pressure constant, the heat energy supplied to the system at constant pressure is likely to increase the internal energy and to external work done. Okay. Suppose if you supply the heat energy to the system or gas at constant volume, to maintain the volume constant, you fix the piston here only. You supply the heat energy. And heat energy supplied here, heat energy supplied to the system is utilized only to increase the internal energy because no work is done. Suppose at constant pressure, P, when you supply the heat energy, then it is utilized to increase the internal energy and to do external work done. Because when you supply the heat energy to the system here, as the atoms or molecules of the system or gas absorbs the heat energy, internal kinetic energy increases. When internal kinetic energy increases, then temperature increases. That's why here, at the same time, whenever the internal kinetic energy increases, pressure increases. But we have to maintain the pressure constant. For that, as the pressure increases, to decrease the pressure, the gas is to be expanded now. That's why the piston will be displaced outwards. Due to that, gas expands and the pressure of the gas can be maintained constant by expanding the gas. That's why at constant pressure, the heat energy supplied is utilized to at constant pressure. The heat energy supplied dq is equal to, we can write NCP into dt, no? Am I right? Because at constant pressure, the amount of heat energy supplied to raise the temperature of the given mass of given gas, given moles, n moles of the gas by 1 degree. Amount at constant pressure, amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of the gas by 1 degree is called molar specific constant pressure. So since molar specific constant pressure is equal to 1 by n into dq by dt, already in kinetic theory of gases I said, from this at constant pressure, the amount of heat energy supplied is equal to NCP dt, we can write now. It is the amount of heat energy supplied at the constant pressure. Okay, it is utilized in two ways: to increase the internal energy, to perform some work done. Okay, in both here at constant pressure, heat energy is supplied to raise the temperature by dT amount. Next, at constant volume, at constant volume, at constant volume capital V, that means the piston must be fixed. Then when you supply the heat energy to raise the temperature by dT amount, the amount of heat energy supplied to raise the temperature by dT amount is utilized to increase the internal energy only. According to first law of thermodynamics, at constant volume, that means when the piston is fixed, if you supply the heat energy, then due to that internal kinetic energy increases, so that only there is internal kinetic energy or internal energy of the system or gas only, as no external work is done. According to first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus dw. dw is zero as the volume is constant, and dq is equal to du only. That means at constant volume, whatever the heat energy supplied, that is utilized to increase the internal energy only. That's why at constant volume, heat energy supplied is utilized to increase the internal energy only. In such case, du is equal to, already previously I said, N into Cv into dT. In both the cases, rise in temperature is same, but here the heat energy supplied at the constant volume is used to increase the internal energy. Due to that, the temperature increased by dT only. At constant pressure, when you supply this amount of heat energy, in this case also, the heat energy supplied is utilized to increase the internal energy, so that this amount of energy is required to rise the temperature by dT, and at the same time, some external work is also done. That's why definitely at constant pressure, whatever the heat energy supplied to raise the temperature of the gas, that will be greater than the heat energy supplied at the constant volume. That's why Cp greater than Cv. That means molar specific at constant pressure is greater than molar specific at constant volume. Okay, now what is the relation between these two? Relation between Cp and Cv. We know according to first law of thermodynamics. According to first law of thermodynamics. According to first law of thermodynamics. dq is equal to du plus dw. dq means we can write ncp dt. du means ncv dt plus dw means p into d. When you supply the heat energy at constant pressure, okay, some part of the heat energy supplied is utilized to increase the internal energy and to do some external work. To do some external work, definitely volume will change. Suppose the change in volume is say dV, and ncp dt is equal to ncv dt plus pdv. This is equal to ncv dt plus pdv can be written as nr dt. Since pv is equal to nrt. Previously, I said. For the small change in volume, almost all pressure is same. That's why PdV can be written as P into dV can be written as nR into dt because nR is constant. So we substitute here. Then ncp dt is equal to this one. In all, we can cancel n dt, and also n dt. Then Cp is equal to Cv plus capital R, or Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. That means the difference between the molar specified at constant pressure and molar specified at constant volume is equal to universal gas constant. The difference between molar specified at constant pressure and molar specified at constant volume, that is equal to the universal gas constant. Okay, definitely as R is positive, Cp must be greater than Cv. So from this also it is clear, and by explanation also Cp greater than Cv, just we have C. So this is the relation between Cp and Cv. In IP point of view, show that Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. That may be asked for 4 marks. So this derivation is for 4 marks. This derivation is for 4 marks. Okay, now here we have to discuss some note points in this case. Some note points. First one, molar specified constant pressure minus molar specified constant volume is equal to universal gas constant. That is we know. Since here, what is the relation between molar specified constant pressure and molar specified constant volume? What is the relation between molar specific at constant pressure and molar specific heat at constant volume? 1 minute. Here, the difference between molar specific at constant pressure and molar specific at constant volume is equal to universal gas constant. That is equal to universal gas constant. Okay, what is the relation between small Cp and small Cv? What is the here? One more point. The ratio between molar specific at constant pressure and molar specific at constant volume, that is called adiabatic constant gamma. The ratio between molar specific at constant pressure and molar specific at constant volume is called adiabatic constant. That is represented with gamma. Adiabatic constant. It depends on the atomicity of the gas. Adiabatic constant. So gamma depends on atomicity of the gas. Gamma depends on atomicity of gas. Gamma depends on the atomicity of the gas. For monoatomic, okay, I will write these values later. So here, this is the gamma value. Okay, next, from this formula, from Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. You take Cp common, then 1 minus Cv by Cp we can write now. 1 minus Cv minus Cp. 1 minus Cv by Cp we can write. Okay. Okay, that is equal to capital R. So Cp of 1 minus, what about Cv by Cp? Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. Cv by Cp means we can write 1 by gamma now. That is equal to capital R. Cp, capital Cp into, when you take LCM, gamma minus 1 by gamma is equal to capital R. Implies molar specific constant pressure is equal to gamma R by gamma minus 1. This is the formula for molar specific heat at constant pressure in terms of adiabatic constant gamma and universal gas constant R. Similarly, what about the Cv value in terms of gamma? Here from this formula, from Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R. To find Cv value, you take Cv in terms of gamma, you take Cv common, then you can write Cp by Cv minus 1 is equal to capital R. Cv of Cp by Cv means gamma minus 1 is equal to capital R. That implies Cv is equal to R by gamma minus 1, we can write now. R by gamma minus 1, we can write. So Cp is equal to gamma R by gamma minus 1, Cv is equal to R by gamma minus 1. Okay, now based on these relations, we have to write the values. Here, adiabatic constant gamma, which is equal to Cp by Cv. Cp is equal to gamma R by gamma minus 1. Molar specific constant volume is equal to R by gamma minus 1. Okay, now here it is the nature of the gas. First, monoatomic gas. Mono, diatomic. Tri or polyatomic. Tri or polyatomic gas. Okay, for monoatomic gas, gamma is equal to 5 by 3. For diatomic gas, 7 by 5. For triatomic gas, 4 by 3. These are fixed. For monoatomic gas, it is 5 by 3. For triatomic gas, 7 by 5. Sorry, for diatomic gas, 7 by 5. For triatomic gas, it is 4 by 3. Now, what about Cp for monoatomic gas? Instead of gamma, you substitute 5 by 3 here, and here 5 by 3, R by 5 by 3 minus 1. If you simplify them, then you will get 3R by 2. Cv, when you substitute gamma value 5 by 3, then here you will get Cv is equal to 5R by 2. Of course, you simplify them, you will get like this. When gamma is equal to 7 by 5, you substitute here. Then for diatomic gas, Cp value is 5R by 2. 5R by 2. Cv value is equal to 7R by 2. For tri or polyatomic gas, gamma is 4 by 3. When you substitute gamma is equal to 4 by 3 and you simplify them, then you will get Cp is equal to 3R. And here Cv is equal to, you will get 4R. So these are the Cp, Cv values in terms of universal gas constant. These are the Cp, Cv values in terms of universal gas constants. Okay. Now, while doing the problem, sometimes answer is given like this only. That's why these formulas are also important. Of course, we should not remember all these formulas. CP/CV in terms of gamma R by gamma minus 1, R by gamma minus 1, and gamma equals CP by CV. Just if you remember these formulas, we can write this. We cannot remember this one. Only you remember these formulas. And if you substitute these values here, then we will get CP/CV in terms of Kepler. Okay. Next, note 2. Note 2. Already we know universal gas equation PV is equal to NR capital T. N means mass by molecular weight into capillarity. That's equal to M into capillar by capillar is equal to small r no, into T. We know this equation where R is called real gas constant. Ideal gas constant or universal gas constant means capillar. That is for N moles of the gas. For M mass of the gas, this constant is smaller. It is called real gas constant. Real gas constant. Okay, now what is the relation between Cp and small cp? Small cp, you know, that is equal to 1 by m into dq by dt. Okay, capital Cp is equal to 1 by n into dq by dt. Am I right? Molar principal specific at constant pressure is equal to this one. Principal molar specific at constant pressure is capital Cp. What is the relation between these two? So here you see from this dq is equal to m into small cp dt. That is also equal to from this formula n capital Cp into dt. Here dt cancel. dt cancel. Okay, now number of moles is equal to, we can write mass by molecular weight. No? Therefore, capital Cp is equal to, we can write small m by small n into small cp. We can write. What is small m by small n? Small m by small n. Small m by small n is equal to capital M. No? Small m by small n is equal to capital M into Cp, small cp. So, molar specific at constant pressure is equal to molecular weight into small cp. That means principal specific heat at constant pressure. Similarly, and molar specific at constant volume is equal to molecular weight into principal specific heat at constant volume. Principal specific heat means the value is given in terms of joule per kg per Kelvin. This value is given in terms of joule per mole per Kelvin. That is the difference. That is the what atomic some change is there in Cp. Say, substitute Cv 7 by 5 here. You substitute 7 by 5, what you will get? 7 by 5 by 7, 5 by 2 r. 5 by 2 r is there. And this Cv, 7 by 5, 5 r by 2. Yeah, here there is wrong. 7 by 5 means 5 r by 2 no here. What about this one? 5 by 3. That means it is 3 r by 2. Yeah. It is 3 r by 2 only, I think. Okay. I think in notes it is wrong. So we substitute the data. By substituting the data, we will write. Okay. I think in the students' notes there was wrong. 5 by 3. 5 here when 5 by 3 is there. 5 by 3. 5 by 3 minus 1. That means 2 by 3. 3 cancel. So 5 by 2. So 5 by 2 capital. Okay, here 5 by 3. 5 by 3 means when you take LCM 5 minus 3 by 3. So 3 goes to numerator. Okay, therefore 3r by 2 you will get. Next, when you substitute 7 by 5, what is the value you will get? 7 by 5 by 7 by 5 minus 1. Okay, 7r by 2 you will get. Here 7 by 5 means you will get 5r by 2. Next 4 by 3. 4 by 3, 4 by 3 minus 1. Okay, then 1 by 3, 4 by 3. 4 by 3, 1 by 3 means 4r you will get. Then here 4 by 3. That means 3r only. It is 3r. I think these are answers correct, I think. Rishik. Okay. These are correct or not? Yeah, reversed. These are reversed. Okay, 3r 3r by 2, 5r by 2, 3r, 5r by 2, 7r by 2, 5. Okay, 4r. I think if you reverse these two, it will be okay. Okay, here it is right only. It is right only. CV is here, CP is here. Okay, right. Next. Third one, from dq is equal to du plus dw. When you supply dq amount of heat energy, it is utilized to increase the internal energy and to do external work done. The fraction of heat energy supplied utilized to increase the internal energy is fraction of heat energy utilized to increase internal energy du by dq. When you supply dq amount of heat energy to the system or gas, the increase in internal energy say du. And fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy means du by dq. That is equal to how much? That is equal to how much? From this formula, you divide with dq on both sides. Then dq by dq is equal to du by dq plus dw by dq. Okay, we need du by dq. Du by dq is equal to dq by dq means 1 minus dw by dq. Therefore, du by dq is equal to 1 minus, what is dw? dw can be written as nr dt, no? What is dq? dq can be written as ncp dt, no? N cancel, dt cancel. That is equal to 1 minus capital R by small capital Cp. That is equal to 1 minus capital R. We can write Cp minus Cv, no? By Cp. So that is equal to 1 minus, you split them. Cp by Cp, Cp by Cp. Cp by Cp means capital R means Cp minus Cv, we can write whole by Cp. Okay, then if we simplify them, 1 minus 1 minus Cv by Cp, Cv by Cp, 1 minus 1 plus Cv by Cp. So that is equal to du by dq is equal to 1 cancel Cv by Cp. Cv by Cp means 1 by gamma, no? Because Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. So Cv by Cp means 1 by gamma. So fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy is equal to 1 by gamma. That means in case of monoatomic gas, what is the fraction of heat energy utilized to? In case of monoatomic gas, what is the fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy means simply 1 by gamma. For monoatomic gas, gamma is equal to 5 by 3. 5 by 3 means 3 by 5. That is the fraction. Percentage of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy means du by dq into 100. That is equal to 1 by gamma into 100. For monoatomic gas, for monoatomic gas, fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy is equal to 1 by gamma into 100. The monoatomic gas gamma is 5 by 3 into 100. That is equal to 60%, no? Am I right? 3 by 5 into 100. 5 20s are 23s are 60. That's why in case of monoatomic gas, the fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy is equal to 60%. Similarly, what is the fraction of heat energy utilized to do external work done? You see, when you supply dq amount of heat energy to the system, the work done is equal to dw. Then what is the fraction of heat energy utilized to do external work? Fraction of heat energy required to do external work, required or utilized to do external work, is dw by dq. When you supply dq amount of heat energy to the system, if the work done, external work done is dw, then fraction of heat energy utilized to do external work is equal to dw by dq. From this formula, dw by dq can be written as 1 minus du by dq, no? 1 minus du by dq. That is called 1 minus du by dq means we can write 1 by gamma. So it is the fraction of heat energy utilized to do external work done. Percentage of heat energy utilized to do external work done means dw by dq into 100. That is equal to dw by dq means 1 minus 1 by gamma into 100. This is the formula for percentage heat energy required to do external work done. Here, fraction of heat energy required to do external work done is equal to this one. Fraction of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy, this one. Percentage of heat energy utilized to increase the internal energy is this one. For monoatomic gas, the fraction of the percentage of heat energy utilized to do external work done is equal to 1 minus 1 by gamma into 100. 1 minus 1 by gamma means 5 by 3 for monoatomic gas. 5 by 3 means into 3. So when you take LCM 2 by 3, you will get 2 by 3 into 100 means 40. If it is 60, definitely it is 40. Okay, that's why fraction of percentage of heat energy required to do external work done is equal to. Therefore, for monoatomic gas, similarly we can write for diatomic, triatomic also. Just if you substitute gamma value for diatomic, you will get fraction of heat energy utilized to internal energy or external work done. So for monoatomic gas, one example I will say. For monoatomic gas, fraction of heat energy utilized to do external work done is equal to 1 minus 1 by Q, 1 by gamma, 1 minus 1 by. For monoatomic gas, it is 5 by 3. Therefore, you will get 2 by 3, no? 2 by 3. Therefore, percentage of heat energy utilized to do external work done is equal to dW by dQ into 100, which is equal to 2 by 3 into 100. No. 2 by 5, no? 2 by 5. 2 by 5. It is 2 by 5 you will get. 2 by 5 because 3 by 5. When you take LCM, 2 by 5 you will get. 2 by 5 into 100. That is equal to 40%. It is for monoatomic gas. Just I said the example. I said example for monoatomic gas only. For diatomic, triatomic, you can calculate. This is the percentage of heat and utilized to do external work done. Can you spend 5 minutes more? Can you spend 5 minutes? In 5 minutes, some points are there. I will explain. Okay, only just 5 or 7 minutes hardly. Okay. Right. Next, what is the node point? Third or fourth one? Third or fourth one? Third or fourth one? Fourth one. We know internal energy of the gas. Internal energy of the gas is equal to F by 2 nRT or F by 2 KT also we can write. F by 2 nKT we can write. F by 2 nRT, no? F by 2 nRT. Okay, because of change of temperature, suppose I change in energy, say du. Then du is equal to, we can write F by 2 nR into dt we can write. This is equation 1. Okay, therefore, molar specified constant volume. Molar specified constant volume Cv is equal to, we can write 1 by n into du by dt we can write now. Molar specified constant volume is equal to 1 by n into du by dt we can write now. That is equal to 1 by n into, what is du by dt? Du by dt is equal to F by 2 nR. N cancel. Therefore, molar specified constant volume is equal to Fr by 2. That means molar specified constant volume in terms of degrees of freedom is Fr by 2. Already previously we got molar specified constant volume here is R by gamma minus 1. That means molar specified constant volume is obtained in terms of adiabatic constant gamma. Here, molar specified constant volume in terms of degrees of freedom is Fr by 2. Similarly, molar specified constant pressure Cp. We know Cp minus Cv is equal to Kepler. Okay, that implies Cp is equal to Cv plus Kepler. So Cp is equal to Cv means we can write Fr by 2 plus Kepler. So you take R common, then you will get, when you take R common here, F by 2 plus 1. When you take R common, F by 2 plus 1. That is the Therefore, molar specific and constant pressure is equal to capital R into 2 plus F by 2 when you take LCM. This is the molar specific and constant pressure. So the ratio between these two, adiabatic constant gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. No, Cp means you write this one, R into F plus 2 by 2 by Cv means Fr by 2, Fr by 2. So this is equal to, here R cancel, then 2 by F you will get into F by 2 plus 1. So you multiply with 2 by F. Then 2 by F into F by 2, both cancel 1 plus 2 by F into 1, that means 2 by F. It is the adiabatic constant. It is the adiabatic constant gamma. So adiabatic constant gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by F. Already in case of monoatomic gas, what is the gamma value? In case of monoatomic gas, what is the gamma? 5 by 3. In case of monoatomic gas, degrees of freedom is 3, no? We substitute 3 here. What is the value you will get? 2 by 3 plus 1. That means 5 by 3 only. So from this also you will get the same formula. But it is gamma in terms of F, degrees of freedom. Okay. Next. Fifth one. Suppose N1 moles of a gas of molecular weight capital M1 and N2 moles of gas having molecular weight capital M2 are mixed together. Then what is the effective molecular weight? The pressure, temperature, and volume all are same. So in a vessel, N1 moles of M1 gas having molecular weight M1 is taken. N2 moles of a gas of molecular weight M2 is taken. Okay, then what is the effective molecular weight? Effective molecular weight is a kaplan. Then total number of moles of the mixture. Whenever these two gases are mixed together, then the mixture is having number of moles equal to N1 plus N2. And the effective molecular weight is a kaplan. That effective molecular weight is how much? Effective molecular weight of mixture. Effective molecular weight of mixture is equal to kaplan. That is equal to question mark. You see, from PV is equal to NR3. N means mass by molecular weight into R into T. Mass by molecular weight into R into T. Okay. In terms of N only we have right now. No. PV is constant because for both gases P is same. P is also same because both gases lie in the same vessel. For mixture also volume is same. For mixture also volume is same. Okay. Therefore, in this case, here temperature is constant, of course R is constant. Okay, molecular weights are different and mass are different. Then from this, mass is directly proportional to molecular weight. No, mass is directly proportional. Of course, number of m by kaplan is equal to constant. M by kaplan is equal to constant. Okay, now in this case, total mass of the gas is equal to M1 plus M2. No, because in case of first gas, there is a first gas of mass M1 is taken, second gas of mass M2 is taken. The total mass of the gas is M, and the total number of moles is M1 plus M2. Now, how we can write this one? We'll see. Number of moles M by M is equal to N. So M can be written as N into N means total mass of the gas is equal to N into M. Total mass of the gas is equal to N into kaplan. So in case of mixture, total mass is M, which is equal to total number of moles N1 plus N2, and the effective molecular weight is kaplan. In case of first gas, mass M1 can be written as N into M means N1 into M1, N1 into M1. Second, N2 into M2. Therefore, effective molecular weight of mixture. Therefore, effective molecular weight is equal to N1 M1 plus N2 M2 whole by N1 plus N2. This is the effective molecular weight. It is the effective molecular weight. Okay. So last point in this, just 3 minutes. Sixth point. Suppose N1 moles of one gas having adiabatic constant gamma 1, N1 moles of a gas having adiabatic constant gamma 1 and N2 moles of gas having adiabatic constant gamma 2 are mixed together. Okay, then what is the molar specific constant volume of mixture? Is equal to question mark. What is the molar specific constant pressure of mixture? That is equal to question mark. Molar specific constant volume of the mixture, molar specific constant pressure of the mixture. That is equal to how much? Okay, here suppose the internal energy of the first gas is say U1, internal energy of the second gas is say U2. When both gases are mixed together, total internal energy does not change. And there is no loss of energy. Here these two gases are chemically non-reactive gases. That's why total number of moles does not change. Total number of moles is equal to N1 plus N2. Okay. In this case, whenever two gases are mixed, the total internal energy of the two gases is equal to internal energy of the mixture. That is equal to U1 plus U2. U1 plus U2. So in this case, internal energy means NCV dt we can write now. NCV dt means number of moles of the gas in the mixture N1 plus N2 into molar specific constant volume of mixture CV mixture NCV dt, because change in internal energy is equal to we can write NCV into dt no. N means number of moles of the mixture into CV mixture into change in temperature dt. That is equal to U1 for first gas. Internal energy of the system is equal to change in internal energy of the system of first gas. Change in internal energy is equal to change in internal energy of the first gas plus change in internal energy of the second gas, which is equal to du1 means N1 into CV1 into dt plus du2 means N2 into CV2 into dt. N2 into CV2 into dt. In all terms we can cancel dt. Then CV mixture is equal to CV mixture is equal to N1 CV1 plus N2 CV2 by N1 CV1 plus N2 CV2 N1 CV1 plus N2 CV2 by N1 plus N2. N1 CV1 plus N2 CV2 by N1 plus N2. That is the molar specific constant volume of the mixture. Molar specific at constant volume of the mixture. Similarly, molar specific at constant pressure of the mixture. Similarly, we can prove like that. So similarly, molar specific constant pressure means the total energy heat energy supplied is equal to the constant pressure is equal to dq1 plus dq2 we can write. This is equal to N1 Cp1 into dt plus N2 Cp2 into dt. That is equal to total number of moles of the mixture N1 plus N2 into molar specific constant pressure of mixture Cp mixture into rise of temperature dt. Whenever dt is cancelled, then Cp mixture is equal to N1 Cp1 plus N2 Cp2 by N1 plus N2. Where Cp1, Cp2 are the molar specifics as constant pressure of the first gas and the second gas. Okay, now what is the gamma of mixture? Gamma of mixture is equal to Cp mixture by Cv mixture. Molar specific constant pressure of the mixture by molar specific constant volume of the mixture. Molar specific constant pressure of the mixture means this one by molar specific constant volume of the mixture means this one. N1 plus N2, N1 plus N2 cancel. The remaining you write N1 Cp1 plus N2 Cp2 whole by N1 Cv1 plus N2 Cv2. That is equal to N1 into, what about CP1? CP1 means we can write, in case of first gas, already we know, since molar specified constant pressure is equal to gamma R by gamma minus 1, we can write now. In case of first gas, molar specified adiabatic constant is gamma 1 for first gas. That's why gamma 1 R by gamma 1 minus 1 plus N2 into CP2 means gamma 2 R by gamma 2 minus 1 whole by N1 into CV means molar specified constant volume is equal to R by gamma minus 1. For first gas CV1 means R by gamma 1 minus 1 plus for second gas N2 into R by gamma 2 minus 1. Okay, then we take LCM and you simplify them. Then you will get gamma mixture is equal to N1 gamma 1 into N1, it is N1. N1 gamma 1 into gamma 2 minus 1 plus N2 gamma 2 into gamma 2 minus 1. Sorry, N2 gamma 1. N2 gamma 2 into gamma 1 minus 1 whole by. When you take LCM and simplify them, you will get directly this answer. N1 into gamma 2 minus 1 plus N2 into gamma 1 minus 1. You will get N2 into gamma 1 minus 1. This is the formula. Of course, we cannot remember this formula, but CP mixture is equal to when two gases having number of moles N1 and N2 plus specified as constant pressure CP1 and CP2 are mixed together. Then what is the CP mixture means N1 CP1 plus N2 CP2 by N1 plus N2. For CV mixture N1 CP1 plus N2 CP2 by N1 plus N2. For gamma mixture CP mixture by CV mixture. Right? CP mixture means this formula, CV mixture means this formula. You substitute here. Then you simplify them, you will get answer. This is the gamma mixture. Okay, now based on these problems, based on these formulas, today I have to do problems. Okay, right now, have a nice day. I will give the homework for this problem or for these concepts. Today I have to do these problems. Okay, bye, love you. Bye, Nana. Shall I sign out? Okay. Shall I sign out? Okay, study hour is there.